This is the viral video that surfaced of a white woman experiencing poverty.
Stay for this because I've reached the part in this whole class consciousness part where I'm just filled with the most impotent rage and I'm talking that white hot I need to sink my teeth into something and scream kind of rage. Because what do you mean that it never had to be this hard for us? What do you mean in other countries they don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck on groceries? What do you mean in other countries everyone can own homes because they're not paying $2,000 a month in rent, or that their mortgages aren't their entire paycheck? What do you mean that people in China work one job and they don't even work 40 hours and they can easily afford their life? And then I'm over here working 60 hours a week, just me as a single parent, to barely make ends meet, and I'm penny pinching every single second, and there's so much of life that my kid misses out on and that I miss out on because of money and work and no social support net. And you mean to tell me that it didn't have to be like this? They keep us in these chains on purpose, and it never had to be like this. I did everything right. I went to college. I had to drop out of college to take care of my mom when she was sick because, again, no social services, no safety nets. My dad worked his whole life and died and left everything to my mom. My mom was disabled, and she lived on credit, and she barely made ends meet, and she did everything she was supposed to. And I did everything I was supposed to, and it just keeps getting worse. It was never supposed to be like this. And I'm so angry that it is. Because what do you mean? I've spent so much of my life working so hard to scrape by, and it never had to be like that. My suffering was at the expense of someone else becoming wealthy because they could. And I am so angry about this. It can't stay like this. It doesn't have to stay like this.
White people going on Xiaohongshu, and they're like, oh my god, China, they have everything, their food is cheap, they have good schools, blah 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 blah. Why don't we have that? Racism. It's because of racism, babe. Yeah. And post Reconstruction era South, after those traitors lost the Civil War, the South was devastated. This is just an example. The South was devastated, in every way you could think of. The Northern troops had burned their farmland. They had blown up railroad tracks so you couldn't transport anything. They liberated all the enslaved people. They had burned their houses to the ground, okay? The South was... it was so bad. Northern newspapers were sending down photographers to take photos, to take photographs, and they were going back up north, and the editors and photographers were selling little books to other Northerners, like poverty corn. That's how bad the South was after the Reconstruction era. Oh, after the Civil War, during the Reconstruction era. Do you know what white Southerners' primary concern was? Not housing and feeding and clothing their families, not trying to rebuild their economy. No. It was making sure they inflicted massive physical, mental, and economic terror on formerly enslaved people in the South. That was their modus. That was their modus operandi. That was very important to them. More important than rebuilding their economy was harassing black people. And that's just an example of the centuries white people have spent cutting off their own toes just so we don't have anything. But the gag is, now you don't have anything either. We don't have anything, but neither do you. And that's why we don't have nice things. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Welcome to Sparkle's show. Thank you for tuning in once again. To all our new subscribers, welcome. To our longtime supporters, we appreciate you deeply. Your engagement, your comments, your thoughts, they all mean the world to this community. Before we dive into today's topic, we want to give full credit to the original creators and the stitches that brought this discussion to light. Without them, we wouldn't have this important conversation today. Let's dive straight into the video and we will come back for more commentary.
I want everybody this year when they go see their physicians for their annual checkup to request some blood work to be done and find out what tests can be done to measure the level of anti-blackness that's embedded in your motherfucking blood, and find out if there's some level of concoction that you can sip on to flush that bitch out. Because I will never understand the shit that I see on this internet sometimes. In its last days of TikTok, y'all are still on y'all bullshit. The hypocrisy is wild. And I know a lot of people was always going to say, oh, everything ain't about race. Y'all always try to, minimalize it or make it boil down to race. And yeah, it actually is about race, because every single time there are two groups of people and or two individuals that are doing the exact same thing, have the exact same thoughts and actions, y'all never have a logical explanation as to why it's acceptable for one person or party to do it versus the other. So then it causes us to do some level of process of elimination. What are the differences between these two sets of people and or groups? And the only two things that always seem to pop up is either these people are not black and or they're a man. Like, be so fucking for real. The hypocrisy is outstanding. I don't know which one is worse at this point. I don't know if it's the conversations about Black Americans going over to the Red Note app and calling out the cultural appropriation that's going on there and being told not to bring that woke shit over to somebody else's app. Or if it's how Bad Bunny is such this astounding, remarkable artist that gave us such a beautiful homage to Latina culture with his latest album versus Beyonce being a propagandist. Let me know, because this shit eating me the fuck up. It's acceptable and it makes sense to believe that Bad Bunny, a multimillionaire, has the ability to stay rooted and connected in his culture. He has the ability to make an astounding piece of artwork that I actually thoroughly enjoyed his album, where he can understand that this is not going to be for everybody. Specifically, this is a target audience. This is a homage to his island, to his people, Puerto Rico. He absolutely understands that all Latinos are not going to be able to get on board. He's going to speak a language that some unfortunate Latinos have forgotten. They're not going to listen to him properly. This album is about basically resisting U.S. colonialism. But for some odd reason, when Cowboy Carter, an homage to black culture, black Southern culture came out, it was propaganda. It was problematic because it wasn't for everybody. Black people go on to Red Note app to try to enjoy something new, resisting what US is doing to the TikTok ban. And they peep how their culture is just being used consistently. People are walking around with outfits, music, and hairstyles and stuff like that has no level of connection to their culture. And when black people are able to acknowledge it, point it out, possibly even laugh at it, never really spread any level of vitriol, there's a level of hatred that comes back, and then you sit there and you weaponize our terminology again of being woke so black people can seem problematic. Yet Asian people in the community or Asian communities or certain individuals can come onto TikTok and express their sentiments on how they find some of the memes and their music that's being used distasteful. Y'all need to seek help. Y'all are deliberate in your hypocrisy. Like y'all choose to be obtuse with things, and I just don't understand why. What is the level of hatred for black pride, for gatekeeping black culture from black people, especially if black women are saying it? I will never understand it. I will never understand the mental gymnastics that y'all play. But in reality, I kind of do understand it. The reality is that y'all just believe that black culture is something that should be exported and used for all. And then you try to reduce it and make it seem like it doesn't exist because if you want to be able to use it at your free will. You don't feel that black people should try to gain ownership of their shit. And that helps your ability to try to belittle us and our contributions to our country and try to erase us from ever existing.
The amount of white people, since we've all gone to Red Note and have made Chinese friends, the amount of white people who are coming back to this app and saying that we're being scammed and, oh my goodness, that we shouldn't be living like this in America. Oh my God. You had to get on a Chinese app to learn that life isn't meant to be hard. And the way that we live life in these United States is difficult as hell, because that's by design. These are all manufactured problems. Y'all had to get on an app made by the Chinese to learn that. But when black people were trying to tell y'all this,
baby, my For You page is popping today. It is full of beautiful, melanated black people letting white people know why they have it so much better in China. Letting white people know why you can't afford a home, why you can't afford insurance. Beautiful, black, melanated people are letting white people know we can't have nice things because of your racism. White people been over there on that Red Note app and they are sick. They are learning that Americans have been living in squalor. White people are sick. They are learning that for 400 years, black people lived in slavery. But in 2024, they are realizing that they are too slaves. They are sick. They are twisted. Listen, when Donald Trump came out and said, why do we keep getting people from these shithole countries? My response was, bitch, America is the shithole country. And white people are learning the truth. For the past 4 years, they've been fighting woke. And the Red Note app, Xiang Hong Shu, has made them the wokest people of 2025.
Like, what do you mean in other countries they don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck on groceries? What do you mean in other countries everyone can own homes because they're not paying $2,000 a month in rent, or that their mortgages aren't like their entire paycheck? What do you mean that people in China work one job and they don't even work 40 hours and they can easily afford their life? And then I'm over here working 60 hours a week, just me as a single parent, to like barely make ends meet, and I'm penny pinching every single second, and like there's so much of life that my kid misses out on and that I miss out on.
I'm gonna just cut it off right there. Dry up them fucking crocodile tears, Sarah. I don't care. I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because this is white people's fault. This is white people's fault. And now y'all want to boo-hoo and cry because y'all done got on that Chinese app and they done put the Uno reverse card on y'all ass and held up that mirror and told y'all, no, y'all are the brokies. Not us. We not the brokies. It's y'all. And y'all got to face the cold, hard reality that y'all have made this bed and now y'all got to sit in it. No, take accountability. Don't sit here and boo-hoo and cry and get on that TikTok and talk in the internet talking about what are we going to do? What are we going to do? No, what are y'all going to do? Because black people have been telling y'all for fucking decades. We have been protesting. We have been doing everything for all these fucking decades. And y'all have sat back and reaped the rewards thinking y'all was a part of the club because y'all was white. Y'all thought this shit was about race. No, it's always been about class. And y'all were never a part of the club. Y'all make up 60% of this country's population. There's no we, it's y'all. Every minority could vote or go against something or go for something that we know is good for the people. And y'all would turn it down because y'all have the overwhelming majority. So it's no we, it's y'all. Fix y'all shit. I know y'all don't like to take accountability for nothing, but now it's time. Y'all over there boo-hooing crying because y'all seeing the Chinese Walmart and they over there paying $3 for a whole goddamn bag of groceries. Meanwhile, you got to pay $200 and barely fill up your grocery cart. See, all those things you're boo-hooing and crying about, FDR made that happen. But then it all went away in 1967. Why did I say 1967? What does that correlate to? Oh, the Civil Rights Act was passed. Integration happened. And then white people stripped away, or or voted against themselves to strip away all public services and entities and all those great things that y'all had prior to integration because y'all didn't want black people to have the shit. So y'all gave all that up in the 1980s when Reagan created trickle-down economics because y'all didn't want us to have. He gave us crack and trickle-down economics. And y'all was cool with that. Y'all made a deal with the devil and now y'all got to accept the consequences of y'all fucking actions. Y'all had affordable housing. Y'all didn't have fucking credit scores. Y'all didn't have you could send your kids to college for the free or for the low. We had advanced and effective public transit and services in this country. But y'all gave all of it away because y'all didn't want niggas to have access. Y'all fought so hard with things like redlining and all these different things to hold black people back to keep us from getting a piece of the pie. Whole time they taking y'all pie. And now y'all got to face the music. And y'all don't, now you want to boo-hoo. Y'all let them pass the Patriot Act in the act of protecting us from terrorists. Use that Islamophobia against y'all dumbass. Y'all let them further push the Patriot Act in 2019 because of that the immigration that y'all was so afraid of, all the immigrants, right? Just taking away all y'all fucking right. Now y'all want to point and what are we gonna do? No, what are y'all gonna do? Because when black people out here marching for police brutality, who they just do things to us and write a fake ass police report and get away with it and nothing happens, you think or when we did ride when things like Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin happened, and the original Black Lives Matter activists the original movement that got hijacked, you know what I'm saying? The original activists that was out there on the ground got took out by the police. Oh no, y'all ain't say nothing then. When we telling y'all that they're interfering in our freedoms and our rights, but no, it's black people, so we ain't worried. It's not us, it's them. Well, I'm not. I shouldn't have to pay for the sins of my fathers. I didn't own any slaves. I'm not racist. Yes, but you're compliant to the system and you're complacent and you're okay with the system that gave you an edge up against us. Go back to R. Kelly or the things that was going on at Nickelodeon or with Harvey Weinstein, all that weird shit, right? There were people still giving up their kids to that, making deals, still going up there knowing everything that was going on, putting their children, putting their livelihoods, cameramen, people going to get opportunities and jobs. They did not care so long as it wasn't them. And that was y'all this entire time up until now. Go back and look at the prequel to the Purges. Where did they start? How did they get people to approve some shit like the Purge? They started in the hood. They started with black people. They started with the disenfranchised. So when y'all turn a blind eye and y'all let that shit go on with black people and we getting our ass whipped by police and we getting our rights taken away and we getting profiled and we getting this, and they're slowly implementing that shit and they were slowly draining that shit from y'all. It look like, come on, bruh. You would have thought y'all would have woke up when that shit happened in North Carolina and that hurricane went up there and fucked them up. But no, what did they turn into? Oh, well, it's Biden. Whole time North Carolina is a red fucking state. Oh, like your local governments fucking failed y'all. So no, there's no, what are we gonna do? No, it's what y'all gonna do. Grab y'all fucking nuts and go do something. Because we, black people, we tired of being y'all fucking crash dummies and going out there and then they give y'all a little piece of the pie, then y'all go back and y'all let us out there to fucking drown. No, y'all go do something.
The American dream, an idea sold to generations. Work hard, follow the rules, and success will follow. But is that really the case for everyone? Many people grew up with the belief that poverty and financial struggles were things that only affected certain groups of people, especially Black and marginalized communities. But as economic hardships hit wider populations, some people are waking up to a reality they never expected to face themselves. I believe you saw the viral video that surfaced showing a white woman expressing shock at experiencing financial struggles. In her mind, poverty was something that mostly affected Black communities, not her. But now, as she faces the harsh reality of economic hardship, she realizes she had been lied to about how wealth, class, and race intersect in America. The idea that poverty is a Black problem is deeply rooted in America's history. Policies and media narratives have long pushed the myth that Black Americans are the primary recipients of government assistance. But in reality, poverty affects people of all races, and statistically, the majority of welfare recipients have historically been white. Many people are now seeing the consequences of believing in a system that was never designed to protect the working class. Economic struggles aren't new, but who's listening? Black and marginalized communities have been talking about wage inequality, predatory housing markets, medical debt, and lack of opportunities for years. However, when Black people raised concerns about these issues, they were often met with dismissal or even blame, as if financial hardship was a personal failure rather than a systemic issue. Now, with inflation, job instability, and rising costs, more white Americans are experiencing the same struggles, and the realization is hitting hard. This moment is a wake-up call for many, especially those who once believed that their identity would shield them from economic collapse. It also raises questions about who people vote for and why, as some are realizing they supported policies that are now making their own lives harder. When communities fight for fair wages, affordable health care, and economic justice, those policies help everyone, but when they are ignored, everyone suffers in the end. Social media exploded with reactions to this woman's story. Some people were sympathetic, understanding that she was raised in a system that conditioned her to believe certain things. Others were frustrated, pointing out that Black Americans have been warning about these economic struggles for decades, only to be ignored. This moment is opening a larger conversation about class, race, and the narratives we've been told about success and struggle. This situation is a harsh wake-up call for many who believed in a system that was never truly designed to support everyone equally. The reality is setting in, and more people are having to rethink what they were taught about class, race, and the so-called American dream. Let's keep this conversation going. What are your thoughts? Drop them in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Sparkle's Show for more deep dives into trending topics. Until next time, stay aware, stay engaged, and keep questioning the narratives we're given.